Hello, my name is Ryan, and I'm a normal 20-year-old guy who likes talking about life. I'm not in any way above you or below you. I'm not a special teacher or anything. So today I want to talk about what I've learned through my own life experience about the idea of discipline and how I think the modern culture, modern society has this idea wrong. I've learned a lot from teachers who preach discipline, like David Goggins, for example, and the importance of doing things even when you don't feel like doing them. But I want to explain something that I actually learned from Mike Tyson, of all people, the famous boxer, as a type of, I'm going to say, evolved understanding of what discipline really is, what it really means, and how it can help you live a wonderful, happy, healthy life. So, many people think that discipline is doing something that they hate doing and suffering through that thing to maybe get some end result, okay? Now, what discipline really is doing something that you may not initially feel like doing. For example, going to the gym, starting a meditation practice, taking a cold shower, something where there's a little bit of discomfort, but it feels deeply aligned with who you are. You know that going to the gym is going to help you. You know that taking a cold shower might wake you up more in the morning. You know that starting a meditation practice is going to be of benefit to your mental health and your focus. But you're feeling a little bit of resistance. Discipline is the act of moving through that resistance, applying some willpower, applying some effort to do the thing, but then doing it in a way where you're not just hating it the whole time. So let me explain. Really, what all of us are seeking in life is a state of well-being and happiness. Now, that doesn't mean that we're constantly seeking to be high. That doesn't mean that we're constantly seeking this exalted state of pure happiness with no such thing as sadness in our lives. What true unconditional happiness means is a deep state of appreciation and aliveness that we experience in life, even when life doesn't go our way, and even when we have to do things that we don't necessarily want to do. And so how this relates to discipline is, for example, someone who is truly disciplined doesn't just go to that workout that they don't necessarily want to do and hate it. They go to that workout that they feel some resistance towards doing, but they feel grateful for it anyways. They show up with a positive attitude even though they don't want to be there anyways. They act as if they're motivated even though they aren't feeling all that motivated. That's what real discipline is, and that's the secret to unconditional happiness. And let me explain that to you. So, there are people in life who are unhappy and don't do anything that moves their lives forward. That's definitely not where you want to be. There's people who lay in bed all day and then also complain about laying in bed all day. They don't like their lives, and I feel for those people because it's a tough state to be in, and it's not always their fault immediately. It's partially due to the society that they were brought up in. Maybe they had issues and other things like that, but that's a lose-lose situation. Then there's people who do things only when they feel like it. So they only work out when they feel motivated. They only do things like meditation or things that might be good for them when they feel like it, when they feel that little kick of energy, that little spike of surface level happiness or attraction or curiosity. And what that leads to is kind of a win-lose situation. It's they enjoy some of their lives, and then other parts of their life they go, not for me, right? You know, they sometimes feel low, they sometimes feel high, and they're kind of on this never-ending roller coaster. The one who becomes a master of themselves, who uses real discipline, not discipline in terms of I'm just going to hate everything I do for the rest of my life, but discipline in the sense of what are the actions that would bring deep value and certain results that I'd love to see in my life, even if I feel a little bit of resistance towards them, right? Again, I've mentioned things like going to the gym, meditation, maybe it's a new project that you want to work on, anything like that. And then, in spite of some resistance, choosing to go forward anyways into that unknown, into that discomfort, with a state of gratitude in mind. So not going into the gym and saying, oh, I hate being here, but going into the gym and saying, I felt some resistance to this, but I feel grateful that I even get the opportunity to go to the gym, so I'm going to do my best to work hard. And I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to do my best. Now what that creates is a win-win life. That actually creates unconditional happiness. Because below the surface level play of happiness and unhappiness, getting what I want, getting what I don't want, getting home in 5 minutes or getting stuck in traffic, all these polarities that we experience in life on the surface level, one begins to tap into a deep reservoir of gratitude and appreciation and aliveness, and you start to see results in your life because you love yourself to the point where you are taking all of the aligned actions that you know that you should be taking. That is where unconditional happiness comes about. That is where the juice of life comes about. Now, when I talk about resistance in terms of taking action, that does not mean doing something that feels completely out of alignment with you. So that does not mean forcing yourself into a certain training regimen that you know that you're going to hate. I don't mean that. What I mean is you maybe feel some resonance with the idea. Let's say you want to start going to the gym, you want to start lifting weights, but you know that there's going to be times where it's a little bit uncomfortable. So it already feels aligned with you, but you're going to have to exert a little bit of effort, a little bit of willpower, and kind of move through that challenge, move through that resistance. All right, that's the key idea here. Discipline is not about doing something you hate and suffering to get to some way off end that doesn't align with you. Discipline is about looking for those things, those actions, those ideas, those practices that you'd like to implement into your life that resonate with you, but you're feeling some resistance towards them. That project that you've always wanted to start, but you've been procrastinating and pushing off. That dream that you've always wanted to pursue, but you've been pushing it away because you're feeling unsure and there's thoughts of self-doubt and insecurity that are arising. That's what real discipline is. Discipline is not about going against the flow of life. It's steering, if we're using a river current analogy, steering your boat to go with that current, but you're still the one directing it. So you're still going with the flow by exercising that kind of discipline. And you're allowing life to take its natural course. Because what many people falsely believe is that if I only get what I want and avoid what I don't want, then I'll be happy. And that is a very quick recipe for misery. Because oftentimes life doesn't present itself how we want to. People let us down, people disappoint us, we get stuck in traffic, we fall short of an intention or goal that we had set out to achieve. So unconditional happiness then is saying two of the only things in my life that are in my control are my thoughts and my actions. And so even when I'm presented with a situation that maybe wasn't initially my preference, I'm going to choose to think positively and take the next right action. The action that I know that I should take, the action that I intuitively feel aligned with, that I know is going to bring about some benefit in my life and for the sake of others. So that is what I found in my 20 years of life is at least what works for me in terms of living from a place of unconditional happiness, which isn't pushing away sadness or any other negative emotion, but a level of unconditional happiness, a deep enough state that embraces all of life. All of life. And that is what I have found to be the best way to apply discipline into my life. That is kind of contrary to, not necessarily contrary, but maybe just a little bit more of a refined definition of what discipline has been portrayed to be. Constantly doing things you hate or feel out of alignment with you because somehow you're going to reap some benefit from all that suffering. That's not the way I see discipline. Like I said, discipline is what I already described. So anyways, that is what I've learned throughout my 20 years of life on this planet. And maybe it can be of benefit to you. On this channel, I discuss a lot of topics about life, spirituality, health, fitness, other things like that. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.